Welcome back. In this session, we're going to talk about Class E airspace, and there's a lot to cover. Class E airspace is the majority of airspace that we have in the NAS. We'll talk about standalone Class E and transition areas for Class E, common Class E airspace floors, 700 and 1200 feet AGL, and Class E operations for SUAS pilots. Class E airspace is controlled and regulated and typically does not have a control tower. Airspace is individually tailored and established Class E airspace remains in effect continuously. The vast majority of airspace is Class E, that is a floor of 1200 feet AGL on up to 17,999 feet MSL, and it includes federal airway routes. Class E airspace also provides safe control and separation from IFR operations. If Class E airspace is not specified on VFR sectional charts, it extends upwards from 1200 feet AGL to 17,999 feet MSL. There are 4 standard floors, and the first one starts at the surface, identified by a magenta segmented line. These may be standalone for an airport or extensions for other types of airspace. Next is 700 feet AGL. This is the light side of a magenta vignette. The next type of Class E airspace floor is 1200 feet AGL, and this is identified by the dark side of a magenta vignette or the light side of a blue vignette. And the last one, 14,500 MSL. This is the dark side of a blue vignette. Class E airspace has 2 transition areas, 700 feet AGL transitioning to 1200 feet AGL, identified again by the magenta vignette. And the next one, 1200 feet AGL to higher altitudes such as 14,500 feet MSL, identified by the blue vignette. Alright, rinse and repeat. Class E transition areas are represented as magenta vignettes or blue vignettes. In either case, when looking at the vignettes, the lighter the color of the vignette, the lower the altitude. Magenta vignettes start from 700 feet AGL and transition up to 1200 feet AGL and is used for transitioning aircraft. The blue vignettes start at 1200 feet AGL up to higher altitudes such as 14,500 feet MSL. Again, Class E surface airspace is represented as a segmented magenta line. These may be for standalone airports or extensions to Class C and D airspace. They start at the surface up to 17,999 MSL or to the next overlying Class B or C airspace. Let's take a look at this Class E airspace example. Here we see an airport within the lateral boundaries of a Class E surface area airspace. It extends from the surface on up to 17,999 feet MSL. Here we can see the lower side of a Class E transition area, which starts at 700 feet AGL and represented by the light side of a magenta vignette. On the other side of the transition area is 1200 feet AGL, the dark side of the magenta vignette. And this identifies the transition area from 700 feet AGL transitioning to 1200 feet AGL. The number of blue vignettes are fairly rare compared to magenta vignettes, and they start at 1200 feet AGL, that's the light side of the blue vignette, and extend to higher altitudes such as 14,500 feet MSL, that would be the dark side of the blue vignette. Here we're going to take a closer look at Class E surface airspace, which is identified by segmented magenta lines. In this example, we have a core and 2 extensions. In any case, all 3 of these Class E surface airspace extend from the surface on up to 17,999 feet MSL, or up to the next overlaying airspace such as Class B or C. It's important to note that Class E airports have instrument approach. With regards to operational safety and the exam, please understand this. SUAS operations within Class E surface airspace around an airport requires a waiver. The FAA has identified this as the lateral boundaries of the surface area of Class E airspace designated for an airport. In the example, the graphic has identified the lateral boundaries of the surface area of Class E airspace designated for an airport. All Class E surface airspace extensions do not require a waiver. Keep this in mind. SUAS operations in Class E surface areas which are not designated for an airport and are above 400 feet AGL or 400 feet above a structure require a certificate of waiver. In this example, we have Class E airspace, starting at the surface extending all the way up to 17,999 feet MSL.